Got no sound going through. I don't know what the hell's going on with this.
On GCPR?
Oh, GCPR is going in fine. Oh, wait.
No, no sound where?
Let's see.
On YouTube. Oh,
on YouTube?
Oh, there it is. There it is. Oh my God.
Holy shit. Oh my God.
We're losing years off our life for anyone
So we
just now. Like, holy cow. The jump scares are plenty.
So we eventually we'll get our shit together.
Yay, they can hear us. Jess can hear us. Jeff can
All
hear
right.
us. Hey, everybody, welcome. Today is November 17th, 2024, and this is the penultimate episode of the first season of Rules of Nerdquisition, where we will be reviewing the final episode of Star Trek, the original series, Season 1, Operation Annihilate. And next week, we will have our season finale where we review Star Trek the Motion Picture. We will dedicate 2 whole hours to that Oscar-worthy movie. We can't wait.
Oscar-ish worthy, I guess.
Oscar-ish worthy.
Right.
It's something.
It's a movie. It's a movie. You know, much like the Tyson fight, it was a fight. This is a movie. It was a movie that happened. You know, like the Tyson fight, it was a fight that happened. Yeah.
I saw a very interesting breakdown of the fight last night on Friday that Jake Paul lost either way. Either he loses to a 50-something-year-old fighter or he beats a 50-something-year-old fighter, neither of which are worthy of accolade.
Exactly. So it's yeah, and here's the thing. After looking through that fight again, without all the buffering this time,
yeah,
it was a lot better with the buffering. That's all I could say.
It was better when
it was better.
Technical difficulties.
It was better with technical difficulties. Yes, the fight. No, I get it, Jeff. Yeah, shit does happen. I get it. Understandable. It
happens.
I get it. It does. You know, however, all I'm saying is the fight was better when there was technical difficulties.
Right. I didn't get to watch. I was live on Peak Trans that night, so I wouldn't have watched anyway, because frankly, I don't care. But I do understand, as I mentioned on my Blue Sky post promoting this show today, a little escapism right now. While we can't rest on our laurels and just think that everything's going to be okay, a little escapism is okay. You do need to take a mental health break sometimes. And that's why we're here.
What in the hell is going on with the Raja? We keep getting kicked off and then back on, and then kicked off and then back on.
Raja. What's up with the Raja station?
What is up with the Raja? Anyways, let's just keep going with this.
Let's just keep going with this. There'll always be a podcast format to follow for those of you that want to watch or listen later. And we are recording live and
emphasize. It'll be all right. It'll be fine.
Trans Radio, or not Peak Trans Radio. Geez, I'm on a wrong show. At Ghost Claw Productions Radio is where you can watch the live broadcast here, as some of you are. Thank you for being here. We appreciate that. Again, our Operation Annihilate. This is not a very deep episode. There's not much to it, but we do get 2 very cool things out of it. We get some introspection into, or some like more information on Vulcan physiology.
Right.
And we get some information on Kirk's family.
Yeah.
His kind of family structure that you don't hear about much. So
yes, it's first introduction we get to Kirk's brother Sam. You know, only by name.
Only by name.
You know, that's when we find out that Kirk, you know, has a family other than just him.
Whose motorcycle is this? It's Sam's. Who's Sam? Sam's dead, baby. Sam's dead.
Oh, yes.
Turn anything into a fracking movie reference. Did you see what I did there?
I see what you did there. I see. But yeah, we open up. Let's read out the storyline real quick. Coming from IMDb, imdb.com. The Enterprise traces a virus-like outbreak that seems to be traveling in a direct line across a planetary system. The next planet is home to Kirk's brother Sam, his sister-in-law, and their young son. The Enterprise arrives too late, however, for Sam. They find flying jellyfish-like creatures that attack themselves to humans.
I saw one YouTube video that called them pancake vampires.
I thought they were like snot with spikes, but anyways, they take over the victim's nervous system, forcing him to bend to their will. Spock finds a weapon to use against the creatures, but it leaves him hopelessly blind. Dun, dun, dun.
Dum, bum, bum. And just to stay in line with my every week kill to death ratio and make sure it stays perfect, Orellen Kirk, who is James T. Kirk's sister-in-law, married to dead Sam, his brother.
Correct.
Played by Joan Swift, who passed away June 26, 2016. Ba-da-bum. Perfect score.
100%. Rest in peace, Joan.
Rest in peace, Joan.
Well, yeah,
it's also worth pointing out real quick that Peter Kirk, Kirk's nephew, was played by Craig Hundley, who was also one of the lead children in that episode. Oh gosh, what was the name of the episode? Where the kids got that ghost. It's like telling them what to do, and they're like,
Oh yeah.
The little redhead kid. He played Kirk. He's still alive though. He is 69 years old. I wish you well, Mr. Hundley.
Mr. Hundley.
Thank you for your contribution.
Yes.
Thank you for your contribution. Anyway, please continue. Break it down.
So yes, again, like you said, not a lot of depth to this episode. Just pretty much straightforward. This alien was taking over. As soon as they beam down, then all of a sudden these group of dudes just run out of nowhere with like bats and like pipes.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's like, so where'd you get a baseball bat from, bro? And it's like, all right. I understand. I get pipes.
I was half tempting, Kirk to look over at Spock and be like, be nice to them, my dear. Blow them a kiss.
And so yeah, they're all come out, get out of here, and like, what the fuck? And they're all just like, what in the hell is going on?
Yeah, and this is after learning that multiple systems have their populations been completely wiped out.
Yeah, and they just noticed this trend of all of a sudden these systems that will go crazy, and then they wipe themselves out. And they will go to another system. They go crazy, wipe themselves out, and they notice it was a pattern going from planet to planet to planet. And then they get there, and then everybody's coming out with bats and pipes and everything like that. Not realizing that snot monsters are there. They don't know what happens because
snot monsters. The purge has begun, and as happens all too often on this show, our subject matter for the day seems to mirror current events. As a new purge is about to begin.
Right.
Like, come on. What?
Like, oh my God.
To me? Why are you
so look, I mean, so we appreciate, the being able to tie in and everything like that, but you can take it easy. Take it easy.
Come on, yeah. Can we get a we just need a little breather. And
so
no, I'm not making an airplane reference. or am I?
Oh, the best scene of that movie.
The plane.
Oh, the best scene of that movie was where all the people lined up to slap that lady. Pow!
I would just like to go on record as saying that there are plenty of people right now that would line up to slap white women everywhere.
But we're not going to talk about it. That's another episode for another time on a different show.
Oh, I'm going to bring it up on the Villain's View tonight. I'm going to bring it up on the Villain's View tonight.
Oh, I know you are. Oh, I know you are.
But we're having fun. We're having fun here. We're having fun.
But this is fun. This is fun. Except for everybody on the colony that's been taken over by the vampire snot jelly monsters.
No, they're not having fun.
They're not having fun. They're in a lot of pain. Everybody's in pain because the snot jelly monsters have just taken over their nervous systems, and everybody's just. Kirk doesn't know what's going on. Spock doesn't know what's going on. I don't even believe that any red shirts died in this episode. No, I don't think any red shirts. Nope. This is one of the rare episodes that no red shirts were harmed in this one. So, hooray!
I was gonna bring up though that another person who has passed away that was in this episode, Eddie Paskey, who played Lieutenant Leslie, passed away in 2021 at the age of 81. He reprised the role of Lieutenant Leslie multiple times throughout the 3-year tenure of the original series. So, rest in peace, Eddie. Thank you.
Rest in peace,
Eddie. The red shirt that survived.
The red shirt, that's fine. One tough red shirt.
That's one tough red shirt right there.
But anyway,
yeah, we're back on the planet. Kirk,
Spock, back on the planet. Kirk, Spock, McCoy, they're all, going through and everything. What's going on? What's happening? And everybody's in pain. And then they hear, Kirk's sister-in-law, and she's screaming out, and his nephew is knocked out, and they have no clue what's going on, and so they're just like, yo, Bones is like, hey man, I can't do anything here. I can't do nothing here. I got to take her back up to the ship.
I'm a doctor, not a Kleenex.
I mean, come on, man. Bruh. I only got
What do you want me to do against the snot monsters?
There's not jelly monsters here, and all I got is a bag. Come on, bruh. I need something.
I got this med bag that my great grandfather carried around in 1872 Kentucky.
Right?
What am I supposed to do about this?
So the most advanced thing I got in here is a stethoscope. I mean, come on, man.
or just to play on Jeff's comment in the comments, snot happens.
Exactly. Snot does happen. And so yeah, and they're trying to figure it out, and so they beam those two back up to the Enterprise, so McCoy can figure out what's going on with them and where all these snot monsters came from. And so throughout their whole investigation of the snot monsters, they one of them happens to attach themselves and get a little bit closer to Spock. So, funny thing about it, I read here that that there was a blooper that one of the times that they tried to attach it to Leonard Nimoy's back, it actually hit his butt in one take. And so that was a pretty funny blooper. You're welcome. I present that to thee.
I appreciate that. I did not know that. I did not know about that blooper. I am better for it now. I'm better for it.
Said yes. And so now with the snot butt on with the snot butt on Spock. Try saying that 5 times fast.
Hopefully that's nothing as bad as the snot butt that was on Mike Tyson that we saw the other day.
Oh my God. I think that may be the last full moon we get in 2024.
Oh. That was one of those things you just did not expect. Did not
It was
expect. It was like,
okay, we're talking, and, oh, ass. All right.
look at this sweet moment between Mike Tyson and his son. How wonderful! Wow.
He said, whoa, ass. Okay.
I did not consent.
He said, that was not on my 2024 bingo card.
What was not? Oh.
Oh God. So yeah, and so McCoy's examining, Spock has a snot monster on his butt. So he's up in sick bay. And everybody's going back up to the Enterprise because they don't know what's going on.
Right, exactly. They take Kirk's sister-in-law, Orellan, and his nephew, Peter, who Orellan passes away due to the snot pancake vampire things. And I don't think we're going to come to a consensus on what to call these things, except snot is involved in the name.
That's pretty much, yes. And, oh, the snot pancakes. The snot pancakes, vampire jellyfishes. So, throughout, and here's the thing, all right, and with Spock, all right, now, Spock wakes up from his whole being taken over. He jumps up from sick bay and goes, hauls ass out of sick bay. And of course, Nurse Ratched, she calls up and says, yo, Spock ran. I don't know clue where he's gone, but he's gone.
He's gone.
So Kirk calls up security and says, security! Security! At that same time, Spock runs into the bridge, tries to take over the ship. And so they knock him out, put him back in the sick bay. He wakes up again. He says, oh, dude, I'm fine. I can handle it. It's fine. You can let me out. I'll go back to work. It's fine.
He's
what?
The dog in the burn. He's the meme of the dog in the burning room. Everything is fine.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
We're all the dog in the burning room right now.
Exactly. It's fine. I'm fine. We're all fine.
Sip our coffee and our tea. The trouble with dribbles.
Trouble with dribbles. It should have been because the snot vampire monsters. And so then we find out that when so as Spock has tried to say,
we're trying.
We try hard. We try hard to stay serious, so we could bring this valuable content to you.
Yeah,
but it's
absolutely.
But we just can't not help it. We've got to. It's within our Gen X blood. We have to do it.
Exactly.
So
it's
yeah. So as Kirk and Spock and McCoy are all talking about Spock going back to work, Kirk is like, nah, bro. Nah. He's like, you just tried to take over my ship, man. And you want me to say you can go back? Nah, bro. Nah. So Spock is like, all right, then. All right. I tell you what we'll do then. All right. I go back down to the surface. Okay. Now here we are. I go back down to the surface. And I take a look around. I scan one of the snot jellyfish monsters, and we get all the information we can.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to get double snotted.
I mean, they already snotted me once. I mean, what more can they do to me? I already got snotted. So Kirk is like, all right, we can do that.
So in a sense, they're like the zombie creatures from World War Z. Now that he's been infected or he has some kind of condition, they're going to ignore him.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, they like Kendrick, he is like us. So,
Yes, Spock.
say, we see you. We see you.
Gotta recognize.
And so, and so the whole time is that what? Oh, I neglected to mention the part earlier where they shot at one of the snot monsters, and just before it attached to Spock's butt, they shot it. They shot it down, and then they couldn't do anything with it. Had no idea what it was.
The phasers are ineffective. The phasers are largely ineffective against the snot pancake vampire butt monsters.
So have no clue on how to even beat the snot vampire butt monsters. So
no.
So yeah, and
this
Spock,
is where C-3PO interjects himself into a different franchise and says, "We're doomed."
Said, "Oh dear, my, oh my, oh my, oh my." Just all in a panic, just So Spock is there. He does it, looks around, looks at the snot pancake monsters, gathers all the information he can, and then he realizes that these snot pancake monsters are pieces of a bigger snot pancake monster. We don't know if he goes for the butt, but we know they go for the butt.
They're like a hive mind. They're the biological Borg.
Exactly.
They're the snot Borg.
They're the snot butt Borg.
The snot butt Borg. And Jeff, no, you're not interjecting into the show or anything like that. You do make a good point though, because I really feel remiss or upset that someone in this show did walk up to Spock and say, "Why are you doing this?" And he didn't go, "Because I collect snot molds and fungus."
Right? I mean,
Prentice did.
Right there. It's right there. It's like it's right there.
Right there, man. I know it was like 40 years before that movie came out, but you should have had some foresight.
I mean, come on. I mean, come on, man. You're supposed to be writing for the future. You're supposed to see this shit. You're supposed to see that coming. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. Help us out. Help us out, Gene. I know I'm talking to you in the past.
Oh,
so,
boy. Well, Spock is the gatekeeper because the keymaster went right up the rear.
Exactly. You'll be like, yo!
Oh! Let's take over the Enterprise. No.
You go down to the Enterprise. Still have no idea why this why these snot butt monsters want to go all over the galaxy, but hey, it is what it is.
I'm not sure I do, Jeff. I mean, I picked my own reference out of it, but I'm not sure that I do. But I do have a question. Do you think that these snot pancake vampire monster things, do you think they're pre-lubed or like they self-lubed? Because they look kind of gooey.
You know what?
Random thought. Anyway.
They probably went to a Diddy party.
Not asking for a friend. Not asking for a friend. Like, no.
So no, they probably all came to a Diddy party. That's probably why, they got all attached to everybody there. They're trying to get them to the Diddy party, and everybody's like, no. Well, I heard about that.
Look at the correlation we've got going on here, okay? Mm-hmm. We've got this massive political shift that's happening after this disastrous election.
Absolutely.
We have the more hearings and revelations of alien activity on Earth.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And we have Diddy parties with exuberant amounts of baby Earl. That is
facts.
I sense a conspiracy here. This is like multiple parts of the same story all being covered up in weird ways. But nobody cares about the baby Earl and the aliens anymore because, we're all focused on the election, but maybe that's all part of the plan.
Right. It feels like one of those episodes where it's like told from 3 different perspectives. That's what it feels like.
3 pieces of the same story. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And so it feels like this a whole movie in which one perspective is aliens in the oceans. That's one perspective of this movie. Another perspective is the election. The other perspective is Diddy parties. Just slipping and sliding everywhere.
Art imitates life, imitates art. Weird.
Yes.
Weird. So weird.
Oh, but so Spock does his thing, gets all the information he can, finds out, they're all big butt brain Borgs, and so now they have to figure out how do you beat the butt brain Borgs? How do you do it? So then they figure out, said, well, when we rolled up, there was one of those dudes. He yelled out and said, "Oh, I'm finally free," as he was going to the sun.
Right.
So while I don't think going into the sun is the right answer,
No.
so I'm going to put that onto the back burner. No pun intended. I'm going to put that way on the back burner. We're going to figure something else out that doesn't involve having to commit mass genocide.
It's not just on the back, but it burns. It burns.
Exactly.
Have a good afternoon, Jeff. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, take care, Jeff.
Oh boy.
Oh shit. So
now we got to find a way we got to get rid of these things. We can't let them destroy other solar systems and stuff like that. We have to do something.
We got to find something out. And so if is it the heat? Well, no, it can't be the heat because we tried heat. It's the radiation. No, it can't be that. We tried that. And then somebody had the bright idea, again, no pun intended. Let's use light.
They were hiding in shadows and stuff on the planet. There was a little bit of foreshadowing.
It's a little bit of foreshadowing, again, no pun intended. So you're hiding, and let's try to shine some light. Shine some light on the subject. And so then now they have to figure out how bright the light has to be in order to kill these things.
Correct.
And that's when they measured the brightness of the light, how it was when they first received the transmission where the guy said he is free. I am free. I am before he became a crispy critter. So they get that brightness. Then Bone sets up a thing in one of the labs to test that theory out, and bombards the snot vampire butt monster with bright light.
Bum bum bum.
And the snot butt monster is no mo snot butt monster.
No more snow. No more.
Said no more snot butt monsters. All right. Oh, cool. Thanks, Jeff. I will check that out, and as soon as we get off of here. And so now Spock has to Spock, Bones, and Jim, they all talk about, hey, what have we got to do, now, because now we know what it takes to kill these things. So now what can we do to apply it so we can get rid of these things? But the only problem is that the light is so bright, it could potentially blind someone. And again, foreshadowing, no pun intended. So Spock, what does Spock do? Spock does what Spock does because Spock is Spock. He volunteers to be the guinea pig that has to go through the light to see the light at the end of the tunnel. To be the light and shining bear.
I see the light through the trees.
Exactly. So, as Spock sees the light, he sees the light. Then he don't see no more.
Nope, no more.
Said no more. He got no more butt monster, but he can't see. And immediately, after that, Bones finds out that he didn't have to blind Spock, and they only needed one specific type of wavelength of light.
Right.
And a light that wouldn't have blinded anyone. Oh, you can see at Kirk's face. He wanted to punch the shit out of Bones. He said, "Mother, you blinded us." Oh, I want to. Bow.
So like, well, we did it. We used the ultraviolet light, which was the only thing that could kill them.
So, but
Spock is blind. I guess we should go now.
So yeah, let's shine the light down on the whole planet, kill these butt monsters, and let's call it a day. So they do that. They shine the light down. Butt monsters are all dead. And then bum bum bum. What happens? Miraculously, because the writers wanted it to happen, Spock walks in and can see just fine.
Just fine. Like nothing ever happened. And this is where we get a very keen insight into Vulcan physiology.
Yes.
They have inner and outer eyelids.
See, yes. Like an alligator, when an alligator or crocodile want to go underwater and choo-choo. Yeah. He has that for ultraviolet light. So, and he's just like, oh, I forgot about it. So, really?
I just forgot about it. Yeah, I just forgot about it. Never mind. I mean, because I even looked into this, like what would cause that physiology to evolve or adapt in Vulcans? Well, Vulcan is a very warm planet. It's a very arid planet. So it does have some oceans on it, but it's mostly.
So if it's mostly like, heat, fire, air, and just stuff like that, then yeah, I can see, on an evolutionary perspective, developing an inner eyelid. And I suppose, if you don't really think about it, because he did prove a point that, I forgot about it and didn't think about it, much like, with you and your appendix. It's like, I mean,
fair.
So it's like, all right, fair enough. But still, man, you knew. But anywho, glad Spock can see. They hop on and trot. Everybody's happy. Snot butt monsters are dead, and they trot along to the next episode.
Kirk's family's dead.
Dead, except for his sister-in-law, who's now single and ready to mingle. Got no kids.
Well, her son Peter.
Oh, that's messed up.
Her son Peter. And actually, according to Memory Alpha, she does not survive. She ends up dying. But Peter Kirk, Kirk's nephew, does go on to enlist in Starfleet. He does survive and go on to enlist in Starfleet. And welcome to the show, James. Happy to have you here. Thanks for dropping in.
Hello, James. So
and yeah, it's a very quick, very short. I mean, it's still your standard running time for an episode, but the storyline it's not very deep.
Yeah.
Beam down, find snot monsters. Kirk's family's decimated. Beam back up. Spock beams down. They beam back up. They try some light. Spock is blind. Then he's not. Then they fly away happily ever after.
Yep. Pretty much. Said nothing deep to it. It's just a standard, just a quick side quest, basically.
It seems that way. It seems that way too. And this will be something that we explore more, especially when we get into the animated series. Which before Gene Roddenberry passed away, he did largely consider the animated series to be the unaired live action replacement to season 4, or what would have been season 4. So we did get quite a few.
That's cool. That's cool.
Episodes out of that. It is considered canon. They're all those episodes are considered canon. So
hey, and here's the thing, that one also opened the door for just animated series and Star Treks in general, just from Lower Decks to Prodigy, and all of those. Just as
there were 22 total episodes of the Star Trek animated series. So
yeah.
Oh, nice, James! I can't wait to hear it. That would be fantastic.
Oh, nice! Appreciate that. So, well,
can't wait to hear what it's going to sound like, though.
I know, right? I guess we got.
Will snot pancake vampire butt monsters be involved?
That's it, right? I mean, come on, we need a snot vampire butt monster.
And while this is not an official endorsement, but as this is the rules of Nerdquisition, I am eating Nerds clusters. So if you want to sponsor this show.
Hey, nerds, hit us up.
Come on. Give us some money before we're dead.
So we need money. Give us money, nerds. Give us money, nerds.
Nerds, fund the nerds. You need to fund the nerds.
So nerds give nerds money now.
But yeah, like I said at the beginning of our show, not much to this episode, but it did have some very cool insights into both Vulcan physiology and Kirk's family. You get to know a little bit more about the characters.
Yeah, it's I say it really simple plot to it, but yeah, it was one of those. It wasn't meant to be kind of that deep into it. It was one of those. Hey, this is more about the character, just a little bit more. At this point, we've kind of already known about with a little bit with Spock and a little bit with Vulcan culture.
A little bit. Mm-hmm.
Now we're knowing a little bit more about Vulcan physiology. Outside of knowing that he has pointed ears and green blood, and now we know he has a extra eyelid. For random protection, I guess. I mean, it could work underwater. I guess it could work at UV rays or whatever. So, learn a little bit more about that. So, yeah, it's just one of those to get to know you more episode.
Snot vampire butt monster be added to the lyrics. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. But yeah, that's the cool thing. I mean, and this is what I'm super excited about mostly, is that once we complete our review of Star Trek The Motion Picture next week, I feel a great sense of accomplishment that we will have completed a full season of a podcast series.
And not only that, not only that, yeah. Well, not only that, and then having been able to meet, Steve Warnock, in which Steve, you need to come back, Steve. Steve, I am begging you. Steve,
we need to line up some guests for season 2. Which there will be no break after next week. We're not going to take like a break for a while before season 2. Will kick off with a mock time. The very next week, which is episode 1 of season 2 of the original series. So we are not taking breaks. We can't take breaks. No. We need this escape right now. We need this.
Absolutely. And
things
Tom,
I look forward to every week.
Oh yeah, and also Tom McLaren. Meeting Tom, and Tom, you also need to come back. I do see that you have a new movie coming out, so going to check that out, and you need to come back here, Tom, so we can talk about the movie. Tom.
Yep.
Tom.
We need to talk about the movie. Tom.
Steve.
Tom.
You need to come back, Steve, so we can talk about Helios.
Yes,
Steve?
and as you can see, we have it right over here on our little background, which I didn't put on. But we want to review these episodes and talk about them. We need an Helios update.
So, yes, Steve.
I need to know what's going on.
See, I need to know, Steve. All right, we need to know. The streets is talking, Steve. The streets needs this, Steve. Steve. I'm about to clip this. I'm going to clip this, and we're going to put this on TikTok. We're going to spread this all around so we get Steve's attention. So Steve.
And Tom.
Steve and Tom. Matter of fact, if you can, no.
What if
Steve and Tom, both of you need to come back on here.
What if we could get them both on the same show? Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be so cool. So, yeah. So, Steve, you need to come back here. We can talk about Helios. Tom, you need to come back here so we can talk about your new movie and Helios. We need to make that happen.
All right, Ralph's Perfect Christmas. And there was another one that he had done recently. I shall consult the Book of Faces. He was posting about that recently. There we go. Oh, and just recently, 2 days ago, Tom McLaren flashed back to 10 years ago today, book signing for Styling for the Stars, Lost Treasures from the 20th Century Fox archive. So congratulations on that, Tom.
Oh, that's congrats, awesome. Tom.
I'm still wanting to get that book for my coffee table. I can't wait to take a look at it. That would be fantastic. Oh, look, it's me and you.
Hey.
Yeah, Ralph's Perfect Christmas, and I can't wait to see that movie based on what he's talking about when he was here.
Right. So yeah, that was going to be cool. And so for this next season coming up, hoping to have them come back, have a couple more guests. Some visual effects artists. We're going to try and get some of those on. Because apparently George knows everybody. So shout out to George. Because George knows everyone.
George.
And so and again,
we gotta get George on the show just for the heck of it one day if he can.
Oh, matter of fact, George said there was an episode he wanted to one specifically he wanted to come on for. Okay. But I can't remember the name of it offhand. I know it's in the third season. I will know that. I know as soon as I see the name of it, I'll remember it. But George, if you want to, you're more than welcome. You can come on anytime.
Anytime you want. But yeah,
anytime you want to, George. You just say, hey, can I come on this episode? Next week. Cool.
Open invitation.
And what else was it? Oh, so for everybody listening. George and he's putting together his own show, and it's modeling. It's about modeling. All the different people that are guests on it. He's going to bring on industry professionals. That within the modeling community, that
like modeling ships and props.
Modeling ships and props and stuff like that
not like strike a pose. There's nothing to it, Vogue. Not that kind of modeling.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, hey, I don't know. For all I know, hey, he could have one jacked up juicy dude that just comes out there and then just like strike a pose. I don't know, but hey, if he does, cool. If not, then
this show.
That's too cool too.
For this show, too sexy.
So, but yeah, it's for props, for like movie props and like TV props and stuff like that. And so he's putting together a show. It is going to be on Saturdays at 10 10 a.m. I believe.
10 a.m.
So yeah, and so yeah, definitely.
I'm down for it.
So
I'm old. I'm up at the rooster's crow every day. I can't. I could go to bed at 4 in the morning and I'm still up in 2 hours. Like what?
oh, that's great because you're part of the show too. So
Oh, no, I am. Well, I'm on every show. On every show on this freaking network. You know what? I have been meaning though to. I only barely just started, like just carving, cutting off the little tabs and stuff of the pieces. I need to finish my model of the Enterprise 1701-A. Maybe I'll just do that on the show. I'll just while we're talking, I'll just
hey,
build the model on the show.
hey, why
I'm
not?
not a
Yeah.
modeler. I'm not a modeler. I mean, I can vogue. You can vogue, but nobody's gonna pay me
Yeah.
for that. Yeah, it sounds cool though. I
Oh,
mean, we are filling up a pretty good schedule on GCPR these days.
so yeah.
We're on most of them. Like, okay, I just got to say this though. If I'm going to be on GCPR, like 15, 18 hours a day, paychecks are going to need to start coming.
So uh, that's one of the things we're talking about. That was one of the things talked about in our weekly meeting. Well, bi-weekly meeting.
Bi-weekly meeting.
Yep.
Good to know.
So, but no,
Yeah.
we definitely got more shows coming. So a lot of them is I know DT bro. He's developing his own show, and so he's going to send me
the podcast he was talking about on
Yes.
his TikTok.
Mhm.
Two girl dads.
yes. Yeah, yep.
Nice. I didn't know it was going to be on GCPR, but that's awesome. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the well, you're already in the family, DT, but welcome to the GCPR family.
So yeah, he's soon he narrows down a time slot, then we'll get that on the air, and let's see who else. There's someone else that was working on a show.
Oh.
Well, I'll remember.
You glitched for a second.
I'll
It
remember.
was like
So it was like it was a brain glitch on that one. It's like, wait a minute. I'll remember it eventually. I know that what Jay said that I gotta she's got to send me a time slot for hers. So when hers comes out, I do believe that's it for right now. There's another one that's coming out with oh goodness, what is her name? It's one of Thomas's friends that he was on he was on her show, of course, debating with a Trump supporter, and this dude just set him off. But yeah, that show, as soon as I the name of that one, then yeah. So we got a few more shows that's coming out. Of course, the modeling show, the one political show with Thomas's friend, and DT Bros show, and what Jay said, her show.
And we've got some that are, almost every week. I mean, and some, obviously Sound of Coffee runs live Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
T. Nathan is live 7 nights a week, isn't he?
Every night. I don't know how he does it.
That guy's a trooper.
I don't know how he does it.
Kennedy's on at least three times a week that I'm aware of.
Jeff is on TKE, Monday through Thursday, and he does the Kennedy Effect on Sundays.
Sundays. So 4 out of 7. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, there are lots of things going on. I mean, my gosh, I'm looking at the schedule on GCPR.live right now, and it's like, holy cow!
Yeah, filling up.
And we have
gaining some popular.
We have yet to launch Plot A-holes.
Right.
That is another show that's coming.
Another show that is coming, and as Thomas is going to say, he's going to put the blame on me because of Birdemic. And which here's the thing. All right. While I'm not thrilled, I will watch it. I won't be happy watching it. I will make it known that I'm not happy watching it, but I will watch it.
I was so behind you. I was so here to defend your stance.
But
I don't even know anything about Birdemic other than this movie poster I'm looking at. Birdemic, shock and terror. Who will survive? I don't think the viewers will survive.
No, look. That it is horrible. It is horrible. The trailer alone should tell you everything about it. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. I don't know why Thomas wants to do that one. It's so bad.
I know he wants to do bad movies. I mean, I understand that because it gives us something to talk about. But I mean, I am not one to try and police Thomas's language. That is not my lane. I will never do that. Except when it comes to some of his takes on popular culture, nerd culture, bad movies, bad movies.
Except for Birdemic. No. I changed my whole thing. I just said, screw that. No Birdemic. No. I can't do it. I cannot do it. I can't do it.
These pictures are awful. That being said, this is the rules of Nerdquisition on GCPR.live, live streaming to @Ghostfall Productions Radio over on YouTube, and we will have podcast formats up on Spotify later tonight, as this is the end of the first and beginning of the second hour. So thank you for joining. Welcome everyone on the YouTube chat. Happy you're here. Yes, James, just hit it with a brick.
Say yes.
Do it this brick. The minute his head is in view, hit it with the rock.
Hit it. See, James, that's my thing. Every time I always mention about something, hit it with a brick. Superplex party, hit it with a brick. Brick, you never lose with a brick. How many times you see in movies and in TV, they get a brick, they win the fight. Every time. You get a brick, you win. You get a bat, maybe. You get a lead pipe, maybe. You get a sword, maybe. You get a brick, though.
Bats or pipes and stuff, though. As someone who's trained in multiple martial arts, I remember people asking my instructor when we were taking, be it Hambo or some kind of short staff fighting. They're like, what's the most effective attack when you're using a staff or a bat or something like that? And he'd just be like, the baseball swing. A full-fledged baseball swing is the most effective attack when using a weapon of that length and girth. She said girth.
Yeah, she did. Oh, yeah.
But no. I'm sorry, Tom.
So look, even yeah, no, I can't do it. I can't. I tried. I don't know what that statement was for me. I think I was more trying. No, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't. I
am watching this trailer.
It's bad, isn't it? It's bad. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Now white boys can't jump.
And this is what
he goes to shoot a basket. It it's way off. Like you didn't even jump backboard.
Oh, it's so bad. And look, and the thing about it, George, I don't know. George, he watched it. He watched the movie. And
the movie.
Yes. He said yeah, it's just as bad as what the trailer says. It's just that bad. It's bad. And here's the thing though.
Tend to trust George's.
Yeah. And the thing is that there's 3 of them that's been made. There's 3 Birdemic movies.
Who made this movie? Did they just superimpose bird
Yes.
emojis? Like, oh my god.
Yeah, those are CGI birds. And it looks horrible.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. So I have long held a belief that special effects should no longer be called special effects because everybody has them these days. They're not special anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I take that back. These are special effects, but I don't mean special in a good way. Like they're special already. I like the one that's like grabbing the van, and the van, since you can clearly see the bird is fake, but it's supposed to be shaking the van. They couldn't shake the van, so they just shook the camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, it's bad.
I don't know who this blonde girl is. She's pretty enough, but honey, I'm sorry, your acting career is over.
Look here, if you agree to do that, look here, you agree
before it began.
So look here, anybody that did that movie, their career is over. But
that's an interesting question.
Who would win, the guy with a brick or the guy with plot armor? The guy with a brick, because he could hit the dude that made the guy with the plot armor. The guy with the brick wins every time.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you've been writing characters with plot armor. Meet Brick.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
brick extends beyond the fourth wall.
It's like, no more plot armor.
Beyond the fourth wall. Yeah.
Say, no more plot armor.
Yeah, no, no. No.
So, see?
I'm gonna say
you see? Now you understand my stance of that's a no.
Hard pass.
Oh, so Thomas.
Oh my god.
So Thomas, that's 2 no's on Birdemic. Now all we need to do is get Gambit on board. Oh.
I mean, I'm a fan of doing New York Ninjas.
I could do New York Ninjas. Yeah, I could.
I don't know anything about it, but our New York Ninja.
Said New York Ninja or Ninjas. I mean, it's bad, but it looks funny at the same time.
I don't mind doing like B-rated movies, and there are some that I would love to do. Some obscure ones too. Like I thought movies that we should do. Time Rider. Do you remember that one with Fred Ward?
Oh,
stuntman.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
Great movie. Delta Force.
I remember. I never saw that movie, but
was that what it was called? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't Delta Force.
No, there was a Delta Force movie that was made.
Mega Force. Delta Force had it was like an actual action movie from the 80s. You know, it wasn't Chuck Norris, but it was in that time frame.
Yeah.
Mega Force was 1982, and I would look that one. Let's see. The stars Barry Bostwick.
Barry Bostwick. Oh my God, that is a straight up 80s name.
Oh yeah,
And
they had like these vehicles that could like at nighttime they would turn dark colors, kind of like transition glasses. Like you go out in the sun and
yeah,
they brighten
yeah.
up, but and flying motorcycles and stuff. Yeah,
And
that was a crazy movie.
and yes, James agreed. Do not give Deadpool a brick.
Hey, I actually have to go on record as saying that you know that I'm not a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds. I don't
Yes,
dislike
I
him,
know.
and
I know you.
I'm
You
not a
know.
huge fan of Deadpool, the character, either. I think he's kind of cheap because he just can't die, and like, what's the point? He's almost got talk about plot armor. Um,
Right.
I did watch Deadpool versus Wolverine a few days ago, and I did not realize that I had not lived until I watched Wolverine and Deadpool slaughter an army of Deadpools to Madonna's like a prayer.
Like a prayer.
Come on,
Ah,
that was fabulous.
that was great. And for me,
Knight Rider
the best
movie.
part of that particular scene was when Wolverine held up Dogpool. Everybody stops.
Dogpool, yeah.
Everybody stops because they don't want to hit the dog.
Everybody stopped. Nobody wants to hit the dog. No, you're right. That was a great movie.
Said that
Cameos of like Blade
just
and
cameos
Elektra.
out the wazoo. So for anybody, sorry, spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Sorry,
So-
the movie's been out since last summer. If you haven't seen it, that's your problem. So,
And it's on Disney Plus. So again, if you don't have Disney Plus, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Anyways,
and I have to retract myself. Delta Force, made in 1986, did in fact star Chuck Norris, Liam Neeson, and Lee Marvin. Robert Forster was in it, but I don't remember seeing that movie. Robert Forster's favorite role of mine was Jackie Brown. So
that's a straight up testosterone movie with Chuck Norris and Liam Neeson.
right, and Lee Marvin at the time because he was another
Oh yeah.
80s, 70s, 80s action star. So Chuck Norris played Major Scott McCoy. Any relation to Leonard McCoy?
Said, that's probably his great,
Oh no!
great,
Did we
grand.
spoil something for you, James? Sorry, I won't talk about it anymore. But it's a great movie.
So
There's great cameos, and it's fun. It's just
It's
fun.
a very entertaining movie.
It's irreverent, completely irreverent, as you would expect from a Deadpool movie.
It's just hilarious. I guarantee you will enjoy it.
I did enjoy it. It was fun. So that's probably the most enjoyment I've ever gotten from the character. I've always been a Logan fan. I absolutely adore Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Even in the bad movies, he was good. So
Yeah. And so, and again, just all of the cameos, even with Henry Cavill. That was great.
Short Logan.
The short,
Logan. The one that's actually like comic book size.
the comic book accurate size.
Right.
That's how he said, with a comic book accurate size.
Tremors, good call.
Oh,
James.
Tremors, yes. Tremors is
Tremors
great.
is a fabulous movie. And I adore Fred Ward. Rest in peace, sir. I loved him in so many things. You know, be it Time Rider, be it Tremors, be it Remo Williams.
Oh,
You know
man.
what I mean?
I almost forgot about Remo Williams.
He was the dad in Road Trip.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
Oh, Fred
wow.
Ward. Fred.
Fred Ward. Wow.
But,
I don't know why I'm using like my upper keyboard when I have my lower keyboard down here, so I don't have to be doing this. Let's do this.
you do it because you can. Because, America.
Oh, he was in Escape. He was in Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood in 1979.
Cool.
Yeah, so many movies. I mean, he was in one of the Crow movies. He was in Joe Dirt.
You mean
As this country stands on the precipice of being taken over by an army of Joe Dirts.
You mean Joe Dirte?
Dirte.
Like, this is just a situation if you don't laugh, you'll start crying.
Yeah, I can't right now keep up with the level of bad news and well, I mean, there's some comedy coming out of Washington too. I mean, you know, with some of these cabinet appointments. But
hey,
again, we're not a political show. We're not going to talk about that.
No.
Bitch about that. You can hear us bitch about that in 5 hours.
So, if you want to hear us bitch about political stuff, tune into the Villain's View. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Right. Also on GCPR and Ghost Call Productions Radio. Woo! And we're also on Facebook on that show. So hey.
So yeah, no, probably the most here you're going to touch on will be, well, indeed, not even going to do that. Will be the full moon at the Tyson fight.
That was bad. That was bad. Like, there's a movie reference here. There was a movie that happened where something was going on up top, and then when the person walked away or something, it was like, wait, what?
Probably like every comedy in the 80s did that. That was almost literally every comedy in the 80s.
There's something. I mean, I just remember a very distinct movie, something that most people would know. I can't figure it out. I don't want to spend all the time looking at it, but whatever. I'll think of it like later and throw it out there somewhere. But anyway, yeah. So are you ready for the motion picture next week? Are you ready to review that movie? Are you ready? Are you ready?
I will say, look, by the time it rolls around, I will be ready. You know, if you're asking me to talk about it right now, I cannot talk about plot or anything like that. It has been so long since I've seen the movie.
Fair. I've seen it enough times that I could probably talk about it, including the extended edition. So
yeah, see, and here's the thing. I saw it once and I was like, I'm good. I didn't see it anymore. I'm good.
It's like, it reminds me of Star Trek Insurrection. It's a long episode.
Yeah.
It's a very long, drawn out episode that could have been wrapped up in 40 minutes.
Right. So.
But really, all they wanted to do was showcase, look at the special effects that we can do. Look what we can do now. The plot took a backseat.
Yeah, it was all effects.
Look how pretty the Enterprise is. Look at V'ger. Look at all this other stuff. We'll get into that full blown next week. And just for future reference, Thomas the Villain will be joining us for next season's finale when we review The Wrath of Khan, as he did join us this month. Thomas the Villain was here for Space Seed.
Because Khan's is one of his favorite characters. So Thomas has to be here to talk about Khan.
I'm all for it, and we'll probably get it. We'll regurgitate and resurrect our age-old argument over, you know, how I don't like Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan versus. I
had so many problems with that here, and I've said it then, and I will stick to it to this day. Benedict Cumberbatch should have just kept the whole John, whatever name it was,
John Harrison,
and just say, you know, he's John Harrison. He's one of Khan's soldiers that is taken over since Khan,
is
Khan is missing or died or whatever the case may be.
Opening up the precipice, or the prospect for him to come back in a future movie.
Right, exactly. So,
and
so
here's something I want to talk about, because I fall victim to this too much. Although nowadays I don't believe, I just assume I'm going to fall victim to it. Fan trailers.
While I enjoy fan trailers, please mark it somewhere in the title or the description that this is a fan trailer, because so many times it fools so many people to where, this is something that's going to come out. No, it is just a fan trailer.
It's just a fan trailer. I mean, someone, the one that got me was this morning, actually. I was laying in bed before I got up. I was scrolling through Facebook, and lo and behold, something comes across. It's like Star Trek 4 New Horizon trailer drops. And I'm like, because I'm looking at the poster, and I'm like, that looks like a pretty obvious reskinning of the Age of Ultron poster. Like,
right?
The villain looks like Ultron, but I'm like, maybe I hadn't seen that poster in a moment. Maybe I'm just.
So maybe
I go, and I start to watch it, and then it's like you hear this voiceover talking about Kirk from when he was young, and it immediately cuts to a scene of Peter Quill being beamed up from the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm like,
it's like,
you people, why?
Or the ones that say, this is a sequel, and they use clips from the older movies. Oh, what the hell? Who is it? What the hell is this? Oh, I will answer that one later. I will answer.
Wait, James. But the last one that got me was Darth Revan starring Keanu Reeves, and I'm like, that would be awesome.
Okay.
And then I'm starting to see it, but it's a collage of clips from John Wick and The Matrix, and I'm like,
it's like, so you're getting our hopes all up and everything like that, and just to show clips of some kind of concept that you had in your head, like,
there are things that I want to see, things that I wanted to see in shows, things I would have done differently. I've said 1,000 times, to friends and people who, when I was watching Ahsoka on Disney, there's that one scene when Ahsoka's flashing back to the Clone Wars, and her and Anakin are talking, and it's young Ahsoka, and she looks at Anakin, and he's like, you're gonna have to fight and all this other stuff, and she's like, what if I don't want to fight? And I am so pissed at the writers, because he looked at her and he said, then you'll die, and he turns and he walks away. He should have looked her dead in the eye and said, then you will meet your destiny. How perfect was that?
So, or even added on to that, say, you will meet your destiny and become one with the Force.
Either way, but I mean that's exactly what he said to Luke when they're fighting on the Death Star at the end of Return of the Jedi. Luke says, "I will not fight you, Father," and Vader's like, "Then you will meet your destiny," and throws his freaking lightsaber at him. I'm like, "Come on, it was right there."
Yeah,
it was right there, and you screwed it, but you'll die.
Of course. Well, duh. Of course you're gonna die, but I mean, that's not how Vader would have phrased it.
No, and but you will meet your destiny is so much more ominous.
Yes, and it fits with Vader. It fits with him. Like the hell.
Come on, guys. Come on. Disney. I'm not a bad writer. And I do love these properties, and it says, I can help you. Help me before I'm gone. Help me help you before I'm gone.
And Dave Filoni, look, yet right there, just the one tiny line. Just one tiny line. Just the one.
Just re-edit. Do a re-edit. Come on, please. They did a cinematic version of that episode in had it. It was in theaters. It was shown in theaters.
Yeah. But I would say, and the one that surprised me the most was the Acolyte. Just simply because I went in on Star Wars burnout. Just, and I wasn't really expecting anything, and I was shocked and blown away and pleasantly and amazingly surprised, and was instantly pissed because I knew going in that it was canceled after this first season, and I'm like,
we knew it,
man. Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
And this, ladies, gentlemen, all those in between and beyond, this is why black women are done with us. That's why they're done with us.
Yeah.
They give us something beautiful and we shit on it.
So just because they're not at the center of it.
No. And maybe I see it from a different perspective because, obviously I am not a black person, if you couldn't tell. But my granddaughter is a person of color. And while I haven't watched her doing it, when I saw all those videos when the Little Mermaid trailer came out, and I saw all those videos of these young black girls, eyes lighting up, that she looks like me, she looks like me, she looks like me. I can only imagine my granddaughter doing that. And it's like, so I have I want to say a unique perspective, but a different perspective than most. Why did you all have to ruin the Acolyte for us?
For real.
I need answers. I need answers.
Like, seriously. Like, it. And for anybody that's not seen it, again, spoiler alert, I'm just going to tell you a general overview of about what the whole series was about. It was the starting of the Sith. It was how the Sith started. Not from they established the rule of two. No, this from the very first Sith. And the very first Sith getting his first apprentice or acolyte to train. So, and it was such a great series.
And I don't know the name of the Asian guy who played, I can't remember the character's name now either. He was terrifying.
Yes. Because first thing you think is that he's just some happy-go-lucky dude, almost like a Han Solo type of guy, and then you realize that, oh, this guy's a Sith Lord. Like
a Sith
Lord? He will cut your head off without even thinking about it.
Now there are rumors in the works, and I hope they're true. I'm not taking anything at face value right now. There are rumors, although there is not going to be a Mace Windu TV show. There are rumors that Mace Windu will be a part of Book of Boba Fett season 2.
Okay, all right.
That would make sense.
Okay,
especially since Mace Windu killed Boba's dad, like right in front of him.
Yeah, I mean,
like whoop.
It's like yeah, and I'm sure Mace is gonna look at him and was like, "Oh, hey, what's going on, guy?" So, it was crazy back there, years ago. When I cut your dad's head off. I mean,
Manny Jacinto, and he played the character of the Stranger, but came to be known as Chimere,
yes.
And yeah, he was, that first fight when he showed up was that was nasty. Nasty.
And I knew I knew I was in
Hi,
for a
James.
ride. So look, I knew I was in for a ride when take care, James. In that first opening scene with that fight with oh my gosh,
With Trinity.
with Trinity and what's her name? The Sith apprentice.
May.
Yeah, with
May.
May and Trinity.
The actor. Is that the character? Yeah, because Trinity. Well, her character was Endora.
Well, she Master Trinity. Still, I don't care.
Matt is Master Trinity.
That's Jedi Master Trinity. So I knew I was in for a ride in that opening fight. She pulled out those two knives and then just started going to work.
And nobody saw Trinity buying the farm in the first 10 minutes of the show.
Hell no.
Nobody saw that coming.
No, we were thinking is that, oh, okay, she's gonna, in fight, just, like how Jedis always do, a fight and then we'll probably either beat the person or escape. And then, make it all the way to the end of the series.
So May Ho was played by Amanda Stenberg, who was also played Osha, since they were twin sisters. So
I don't know. Osha, that's how.
Osha and May were the two sisters.
And again, who names their kid Osha?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
That's just a. So, what's your name? Occupational safety hazard.
Administration, yeah.
You call me OSHA for short.
Whatever. It is what it is, I guess. But just white people, stop ruining everything for us. Some of you nerds out there, self-proclaimed nerds, and I'm starting to think nerd is a title that we give you. You don't get to just label yourself one. Like ally, like you wait till we give you a card. If you're carrying a card and haven't been labeled a nerd, you're carrying a forgery.
Right, exactly. If it hasn't been stamped by a certified nerd.
And it's just like a lot of these people that are complaining about this wokeness and stuff, and we've talked about this on the show before. And, like, I can't watch Star Trek anymore. It's so woke. Well, apparently you've never watched Star Trek.
But you've only watched 1 or 2 episodes of one Star Trek series. That you're like, oh hell yeah, I love Star Trek.
Yeah, and I know. You dodged a bullet because in the original trilogy of Star Wars, there was only one black guy. You dodged a bullet there, and he was only in like 1.5 of the movies anyway.
Exactly.
You dodged a real bullet there. But I mean, I'm sorry. It's logical to suggest that in a galaxy full of various alien species with shapes, sizes, colors, that humans would also be multicolored.
Right.
I mean, we're multicolored on the one planet that we exist in real life, and yet it's safe to say that I think there should have been some more colored people in Star Wars. And by colored, I mean like purple and green and different colors, like just all different versions of the spectrum. Not to use a term that is largely unacceptable to me to come out that way, but you understand my point. Is I want to see spectral people.
Yes. Just so you know, she didn't mean it racistly.
Right.
She meant it actually like color spectrum. So I get it because, there's the green women, there's the purple ones. And there was the one there. Some have tentacles, some doesn't. There's the ones that are bright pink. But and
just
so as long as they're not in like they're not in like a bar or like on a slave ship, That would be great. That would also be great too.
Right. Like they can actually be heroes and
Like,
involved in the main storyline and not just eye candy for you
right.
at various places.
I
It's
mean,
just
they could be, shop owners, security detail, uh, government officials.
well, and think about this. Think about this. Nobody, at least, I mean, I don't know. I was young. I was only like 5 years old when the movie Alien came out, but I
Mhm.
remember Aliens, and I don't remember one damn person complaining about the main character being a badass bee.
No, no,
Nobody cared.
I don't think no. I've never heard
No,
anybody care. No?
they were more like me. They were like, that bitch just getting a mech. She about to fight this thing hand to hand. What? I mean, like,
Like it's like when you watch it, it's natural because
natural.
yeah, it's not anything like well, I don't understand. It's like what, but it just doesn't make sense. I just don't. I don't understand. No, you don't ever see that. It's like, oh shit, that bitch about to fuck everybody up.
Nope. And there it was. Ba-da-ba.
And there it is. Ha ha. Swear jar.
Big bada boom.
There it is, swear
But
jar.
yeah, I just there is no consistency to their complaints about sci-fi.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know. It's I don't think we'll ever really get a satisfying answer to that as to why. I don't know, but
No,
it's
I
going to be
think
a
about it a lot when I play Red Dead Redemption 2, which is funny because we're talking about a game that's taking place in 1899, and the main character, Arthur Morgan, um, is way more liberal than any man of that time period would have been. Like he's got black people in his gang and he supports them. He doesn't like try to tell them their experience. He in the game, he's having a conversation with a black member of the gang who is telling him his experience as a black man in that time period. And you know what Arthur does? He listens. He doesn't try
damn.
to white-splain it. He doesn't talk over him. And then when this character Lenny is done telling his story, Arthur is like, "I never really thought about it that way. It seems like it's really difficult for you, and I'm sorry for that because that sounds shitty."
Damn.
Like, I mean, like,
Like damn.
he supports women's rights because this is taking place during the early days of the suffrage movement.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
women being able to vote and stuff like that. He supports strong women in the game. And it's just like, okay, you know that liberals wrote this game. Now, don't get
Mhm.
me wrong. There's plenty of characters in the game that are racist
Mhm.
and sexist and stuff, but they're all the bad guys. They're
All
all the
right.
bad guys, and you get to shoot them. One of my favorite things to do in that game is one of the many random encounters is you can sometimes come across clan members in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night.
There was this guy that did a TikTok on that
Yeah,
where he
I'll
was
just light a stick of dynamite and throw it right into the middle of them and watch them all go boom.
oh and he, oh my god. The and the TikTok that he did describing when he came upon him, and he was like, "Oh, oh,
Oh, hell
oh!
no.
I've been waiting for you. I got something for you." Boom.
And I mean, there's multiple times you come across them. Just one where there's like I don't know what they call the Grand Dragon or whatever. It's like a dude in a black robe and then two guys in a white
Hmm.
robe, and they're trying to hoist this cross up. And the guy in the black robe's like, "Come on, put your backs into it." And then they stumble and the cross falls and crushes the two guys, and kills them immediately. It's hilarious. Like,
That is great.
oh yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. So yeah, I mean, I appreciate the liberal-minded or leftist-minded people that wrote the game. I love the progressive mentality put in there, but I don't think you'd meet those men would be few and far between in that time period.
Oh yeah,
I hate
absolutely.
to say.
I mean, and that is 100% correct. And again, while I'm not playing the game, I can definitely appreciate that, and without a shadow of a doubt, I can appreciate it, but again, I do totally agree. And the time that is set, dudes like that are far and few in between.
Mm-hmm.
And but again, it's just freaking hilarious. It's just freaking hilarious just to throw a stick of dynamite into a whole group of clans members.
Whole group of clans members.
It's just
Are you all flammable? I'm guessing yes.
Boosh.
I've used dynamite. I've used fire bottles. I have fully maxed out my Deadeye, which is like a way in the game where you kind of go into slow motion. You could target multiple people and shoot them all once. I've used every weapon in the game against these people. I've run into them with my horse and just run them over. I've trampled them.
Oh, this one, dude.
I've thrown knives at them. It's just like, how many ways?
Oh, I saw this one.
How can I kill you? Let me count the ways.
I saw this one guy. He dragged one over to a railroad track.
Yep.
Got it to a train and ran him over.
Yep. I've never run over anybody purposely in that, but I have hogtied them and left them on the railroad tracks and stood there until a train came by and just watched them.
Said just wait. Just waiting, and then
you can drink in the game and actually get drunk. So I'll just sit there chugging whiskey while I'm waiting for the train to come by. This is my Saturday night entertainment right here. Yeah, grab them with your lasso and go running off. I've had a group of them chase me while I'm riding away with the leader, dragging them behind me. They're coming shooting at me. I'm just riding away, dragging the Grand Dragon away. The Grand Dragon.
Said dragging the dragon.
Dragging the dragon.
You're dragging the dragon.
It's
Oh, that is so. That's flipping great.
It's fun. So again, I ask. We've got presumably some groups of white people giving us fabulous content like this.
Correct.
And then white fanboys and presumably some girls ruining the rest for everybody else.
Also correct.
And I just want to say that, hey, you know what? You can shut up any day and let those of us that enjoy these things, like the Accolade, because I'm very upset that we are not going to get a season 2 of the Accolade. We are not going to explore that mythos more. We are not going to get to know those characters. I think that, Osha and May were awesome characters.
Right, and we're not going to fully understand about the whole thing between Osha and May of them being sisters but the same person, and
right.
Exploring more about how the Force is used as opposed to just kind of being a telepathic, telekinetic type of power, exploring more into what the Force is, what it can do, what it really can do. Right. If used by the right person, as opposed to, can I just move something with my mind, or can I just take a gun away from a stormtrooper, instead of like how what Vader would use it, and use it like, battle meditation,
Meditation.
and using like a Luke did, using the force projection,
Force projection. One of my favorite things from one of the now defunct Legends books was the Heir to the Empire series by Timothy Zahn. came out that were supposed to be the de facto episode 7, 8, and 9 before George came in and well, before he sold it, and then Kathleen Kennedy came and did her thing. There was one scene in the first book, when Luke is fighting and he throws his lightsaber, and while Luke is over here doing some, Jedi kung fu stuff,
Right.
the lightsaber's over here fighting by itself, like fighting other enemies by itself, and he's fighting these people, and it's fighting these people, and it's like,
okay, that would be something that every fan would love to see, that,
right?
And especially if he threw, let's just throw this out there, he threw his lightsaber back there, and lightsabers fighting, and he pulls out another one, and he starts fighting with that one, and it's like, exactly. Who would not want to see that? Because, and again, that's a way that we all figured that you could use the Force. I mean, there's a lot of different things that I just thought about and theorized, that how you could use the Force in different ways, and that essentially, kind of was one of the ways. I mean, just being able to use the lightsaber like that, and just throwing it and then using the Force to bring it right back to you, and then while bringing it back, try to do as much damage to whoever your opponent is.
Absolutely. I think video games and books kind of ruined it for me, because watching The Apprentice, ripping the Star Destroyer out of the sky with that Jedi Master in his eye, like, rip it down. He's pulling it out of the sky. Or Mace Windu in the original Clone Wars, the actual hand-drawn animation one, where he's fighting that army of battle droids, and he's just like, 1,000 punches.
Yes. And
crushing whole armies of them at once. Like, and then we get to Attack of the Clones, and it's like, why did Yoda not float into that battle with Count Dooku, like with his legs crossed and his arms like this, with 6 lightsabers flying around him?
Right. Yeah. And it's like, why is he
bouncing off the walls like a gummy bear?
Right. And why is Yoda, floating around in like a little baby carriage? Why is he not just using the Force and just like levitating himself to go everywhere?
Did he bequeath that to Grogu?
Obviously.
But yeah, even if he didn't float himself, why couldn't he have been in that little pod thing? And I still think, I was literally expecting him to come into that room with 6 lightsabers sparkling all around him, and Dooku like, oh.
And it's like, oh, shh. It's like, I don't know what to hit, and
I was a little disappointed in Yoda's, like I said this last week, and his fight with the Emperor. Like, I just feel like it should have been something more.
Yeah,
he can lose the fight, but it should have been something more.
Like, it should have been like a really a lot more significant than just him getting knocked over a platform and then just like, okay, I lost. No,
I got failed. I have, but I will go out and just cement that fact by saying that, or that belief, that opinion, that I don't think the Emperor should have used a lightsaber either. It diminished him as a character.
Yeah.
As a threat.
Yeah, because in the original trilogy, he never used a lightsaber. I mean, he held it, and looked at it, but he never used one. He had the Force lightning and used that, and
he said it. He's like, oh, a Jedi's weapon, meaning it wasn't his weapon.
Yeah, and so I get the fact that they wanted to give him his own lightsaber like that. And I can understand that, because that's what the people want. They want a lightsaber fight. They want to fight with a red lightsaber versus a green one or a blue one, or in Mace Windu's case, a purple one.
Purple one, yeah.
And so I get the whole lightsaber fight of that, but for Palpatine never should have been that. It literally should have been just him lightsabers, huh? Force, and just toss them all out of the window.
We see how this could have worked, especially in Obi-Wan. We see it when I have so many names that I can't remember. Moses' character, the third sister.
Yes.
When she tries to sneak up behind Vader. And she swings at him, and he's just like...
Yes.
She's swinging all at him, and he's just like, nah.
No.
Nah.
No.
Nah. That's what I would imagine the Emperor doing.
Yeah.
It's like, nah.
So he doesn't have a lightsaber, doesn't have a lightsaber because he doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it.
Yeah. Or maybe he does.
He's going to use 6 and not touch them while he's doing
right.
it.
Or maybe he does have a lightsaber and just doesn't use it. And so, but either way, if somebody comes at him with 6 lightsabers and they're all floating, then he's just like, 6, huh? Well, that's cute. Whew, they're all mine.
But we're fanboying and fangirling over how we would have written the series. I mean,
but that's
even before Yoda came in. I think that Anakin should have had Count Dooku on his heels. Dooku maybe would have done something cheaty, like sneaky and underhanded to take Anakin out of the fight. But there should have been a moment when Dooku was generally in fear for his life.
I think he was just before his life ended.
Well, before his life ended, but I'm talking about the fight at the beginning of the Clone Wars, not the one.
But I understand.
He was afraid, especially when the Emperor was like, "Do it," and Dooku was like, "What?
Wait, what?
Like, bro, we was just in this.
Say, wait,
we
bro.
planned this whole thing. We planned this whole thing. What?
Say, wait, bro. It was. I thought it was going to be me and you.
Like, that's going to be me and you. Like, nah, this dude's got your number, man. I'm pick him. It was a schoolyard pick right there. Playground pick.
Say, whoever wins.
I pick him.
Say, whoever wins. Whoever wins is my new apprentice. He won.
Yeah. So, we could do that all day long. We could rewrite these things the way we wanted to, and it all started with a little line that you should have used it. That's so good. But really, because again, going back to the topic of discussion, really is like, stop ruining these properties. There are plenty of us that love the show, but a couple of loud people get out there and give their opinion, and
then all of a sudden, it ruins it for everyone. And it's always just the one guy that thinks that he's not being listened to, or he's not being represented, even though the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy and then the prequel trilogies, all just
nothing was more representative of white people than the fact that you had a black man voicing Darth Vader, and when he said, "Luke, I'm your father," and he took off his mask at the end of the next movie, lo and behold, he was a white dude.
Then it's like,
whoa.
So really?
Obviously people expected a white guy because Luke is white. And all that fun stuff, but I mean, like, it didn't even have a hint of color because Luke is like me and translucent. The color of what most average white people of the condiment they love the most. It's like, get some spice in your life, right. Boys and girls. Get some spice in your life. Seriously, there's more to life than salt and mayonnaise. Just saying. And definitely don't put raisins in your potato salad. Weirdos.
And that was a PSA from
PSA from Gretchen today. Weirdos. You weirdos. Just stop. Stop ruining it for everybody.
Just messing it up for everybody.
It's messing it up for everybody. Like, why? I mean, you do it in sci-fi, you do it in government, you do it, you do it on social media.
It just doesn't make any sense, man. Don't make any sense.
Stop. Just stop.
And
A trans character because they're freaking out now because there's a trans clone trooper. One trans clone trooper. And they're like, but they're all clones. Either they're not trans or they're all trans. How do you know there's not? We all know there are anomalies in the cloning process.
yes, I mean,
Cloning is not perfect.
it's not perfect, you know. So obviously I'm probably sure there's more than one, but there's just one brave enough to actually say, yo, this is not who I am.
But if it maintains their effectiveness as a soldier, it wouldn't matter. And then you have other people that are fighting like, the other clones would never accept them because, they're all trained with this warrior mentality. So have you watched the Clone Wars? Do you see how before Order 66 kicked in, how much it meant to all of them? They were all brothers.
Yeah. I mean,
they were one big family. They were supportive of each other 100%, even when they argued.
Yeah, they were all there. They still had each other's backs. And
right.
And even with the spinoff to that, Bad Batch. And with Bad Batch, you find out that the character Omega, she is a clone. The same as with them. Came from the same from Jango Fett. But
she's a woman. She's female.
But she's, yes.
Male.
So, and how do you think the other clones treat her? The exact same. The only difference is that because she's young and she's not trained, they treat her like she's young and she's not trained. Not treating her like, oh, well, she's a girl, so she can't do this. She's a girl, she can't do that. Like, no, she can't do this because she hasn't been trained on, how to shoot a blaster. So it'd be dangerous to give her a blaster because she's not been trained on how to use it. It'd be dangerous to give her a knife because she's not been trained on how to use a knife properly. So it'd be dangerous to do that.
Right. But no, we can't have it. There's a female clone. No, they were all bred to be males. Chuck Wendig famously wrote the Aftermath trilogy, a series of Star Wars books that featured a gay character.
Anyways,
people lost their collective minds. There was a lesbian kiss at the end of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. People lost their collective shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
come on. Argue about something. Fight about something that means something.
And then how many?
Something that means something.
And again, how many fans was all when they saw Finn and Poe on screen together that they wanted some kind of something that happened between those two?
I wanted it. I wanted that gay bromance to happen. I wanted it. I wanted it so bad. I wanted it so bad. In fact, and here's a funny thing. I only have one gripe about the character of Finn, and it is in regard to him being a stormtrooper. And that's only because I don't think that the Empire would employ a black person. I know that the third sister's a black person, but if they're going to be that fascist kind
if they're going to be like that kind of thing, then yeah.
They were already anti-alien. There were no aliens in the Empire, in the main forces. They were all the leadership, the troopers. They were all human. They were they were notorious for being purity first as far as humans go.
Yeah, I
just find it interesting that they would have a black human.
It is,
but
and again, that was the thing that surprised everybody is because the Empire, and same as when it was they were the Republic, notorious for having one specific type of soldier or one specific type. That's it.
Right.
And a woman was not it. You know, a trans man, trans woman, not it.
Not it.
Not it.
It's not it. And again, that's just
anybody black
writers.
Oh yeah, and especially anybody black, not it. That was not there.
That was just a credit to the writers again, like Red Dead Redemption. The writers being a little more liberal than the people and the characters would have been themselves. Because I mean, you could even overlook Finn's character. The leader of the stormtrooper forces was a woman,
right?
Captain
Phasma. Yeah.
Right.
And
so, I mean, that, oh my God, you put a woman in charge? We literally have somebody who's going to be head of the Pentagon now that doesn't believe women should be in combat roles, let alone leadership roles.
Yeah.
You go tell that to Captain Phasma.
Go tell that to her. Go that to her, you know.
Rhianna Tarth is going to clean your clock 6 ways from Sunday.
So just go right ahead. Go right ahead and tell her. Go right ahead, tell her. And let me know how that works out for you.
Yep.
Let me know how that works out for you. Because odds are that there's more women that's probably tougher than him than anything. Like I would. So with somebody like that, you know, he could easily get his ass whooped by Ronda Rousey. You know, Marina Shafir definitely whoop his ass. Gina Carano definitely whoop his ass.
Gina Carano, Serrano from the Friday Night Fight, even though she got robbed.
Yep. She whooped.
She got robbed.
You know, Serrano or what's the other girl? Taylor. Both of them could whoop your ass. Either one of them could whoop your ass.
No, but in their minds, it's like Jason Goes to New York. You know, we're imagining this boxer on a rooftop fighting Jason. He's just like, boom, boom, boom. He is tearing him up, just tearing him up. In their minds, the woman is doing the same thing, but then they just flick their finger and her head flies off.
Right.
That's their fantasy. Because I was like, I'm watching Jason Goes to New York. I'm just like, oh, dude is messing him up. Just like, boom, boom, and then just like, flick, he's dead.
And then done. And I think that's probably how he sees himself as being like, well, it doesn't matter what she does. I'll just, and that's it.
I'll just flick and your head flies off and it's over. Like, come on.
Yeah, you try.
Obviously, Jason is a supernatural creature. He is an entity that,
but no, you get guys like that. They think, oh, anybody could win a fight on any day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much training you got. It doesn't matter none of that. Okay.
Like all the liberal white women on TikTok, they're like, I hear that you liberal women, or all the Southern women are like, I hear liberal women are going to start assaulting you Southern women. First of all, no, we never said that. And two, you guys think you're the only ones that carry. Anyway, that's
another. But again, that's another story for another time on another show.
Show.
And you can see that 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on the Villains View. We'll talk about stuff like that.
Next week, join us.
So
we're gonna have a party. Season finale. Rules of Nerdquisition.
Yeah. We're gonna be talking about the motion picture. Star Trek the motion picture.
I'm gonna bring snacks.
I'm gonna bring snacks. I'm gonna bring something else other than snacks.
Something that will lead to snacks, I'm sure.
Something that will make me very snackish.
Do your homework. Be ready for it.
I shall.
We'll talk about it. And we will wrap up this first season and celebrate and rock on into season 2. Because you know what? We can't be canceled.
Can't stop.
Until he decides he doesn't like us anymore. But sorry, he's stuck with us.
So yeah. In the names of Diddy, you can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. Especially once we start sliding down the hallway with all that baby Earl.
It's all the way Earl. Gotta keep
Objects in motion stay in motion until acted upon by an equal or greater force.
Absolutely. Gotta keep everything lubed and keep it loose, so that way everything can flow the way it needs to flow.
That being
But
said, I am Gretchen. We love having you here, and I'm going to turn it over to Angry, aka Gilbert,
so,
for our typical send off.
so yes, had a lot of fun. Everybody, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had a laugh too. So keep your triple spayed and neutered. Take care. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the Villain's View.